I'm Michael Cardillo, and I want to show you how you can mix audio in Premiere.
Okay, I'm going to jump right in here because this isn't my high polished tutorial. This is seriously something I'm just going to knock right out because I know it's needed and I want to get it out today. So we're going to talk about the mix. Now, while you're editing, you can adjust your clip keyframes for a basic level, and I think that's probably the best workflow is, you know, as you're throwing all these things on your timeline, if something's a little bit louder or a little bit softer than you need, just go ahead and move the clip keyframe, and you'll notice there are a couple of different types of keyframing here. This is the track keyframe. We're not going to deal with that right now. Just leave it on clip keyframes, and each clip, one at a time, you can just move it up or down, you know, up to 6 dB. If you need more than that, you can add audio gain. You just have to be really careful because there's your peak amplitude. It's at -6.8. So if you add more than 6.8, you have clipped that file, and we don't want to do that. So you just get your basic levels. You want to use the meters. You want to use a better meter than this because this doesn't
and stereo tracks, or in Premiere they're called standard tracks because you can put mono.
This doesn't tell you how loud it is, so use your ears most importantly, but go ahead and use a better meter. I'm going to show you the loudness radar here in a little bit. That comes with Premiere. I use a meter from Waves called the DeRose meter.
Right now, everything's just going to 1.
A lot more information on the DeRose meter than what you're getting on
2,
the built-in
Well,
meter.
I want my effects and my music.
The built-in meter's not telling you how loud it is. This one does a much better job of that. So get a good meter, watch it, get things leveled out. That's step one. And you can do that while you're editing. I think that's a good workflow, just because you want a nice level mix. You know, that's your rough mix. If an individual clip is bad, if it needs something, if it's just got a ton of bass and you need to get some of that off, grab an EQ or whatever, throw it on there, go up here and do it all, you know, editor style. Wow, cool interface, eh? This is a great EQ. You know, you do what you need to do, but we're not going to talk about that because that's not how I work. What I'm going to do is on the track mixer, okay? And this is where we enter into audio world. This is your digital audio workstation. And the thing that really makes it a digital audio workstation is this little triangle right here. You click it and it opens up to show you your inserts and your sends. The inserts are where you put your plugins, your compression, and your EQ. And I've already put a few things on here. And I'm going to show you just real quick compression, real quick EQ, and show you how to do this. So we start compression first. This is the Renaissance compressor from Waves. I love this thing because you can put a nice quick release time. It's really gentle. It doesn't hurt your stuff. The thing to watch on a compressor is how much gain reduction is happening. So we just kind of watch it work.
Master. Stereo is fine if you're going to do a stereo mix, but in our case, we need to go multi-channel. Multi-channel, I'm going to say 4 channels because I need 2 channels.
On the louder syllables, I get a little bit of gain reduction. On the quieter syllables, I'm not getting any. This is literally a syllable by syllable gain reduction because of the fast release time. This is beautiful for leveling out and just adding a lot of clarity. I might even open up that attack time a little bit, just to kind of let some of the transients come through and make it a little more transparent. And you adjust, you want your ratio to be gentle. You know, this is maybe even more aggressive than what I need, you know, something in the 2 to 3 range. Your threshold, you set it to where you're getting the gain reduction that you want. It depends on the situation. You don't want your compressor to work hard, especially if there's any background sound. You can compress voiceover more than you would dialogue, for example. But just, you know, add something like this for some nice gentle compression to help add clarity. This happens after the levels that you have set in your clip gain. You can also go in on this clip gain and you can add keyframes. You can add a keyframe here and pull this down, and you know, you can really keyframe it up and do what you need to do to make it work for you. This is happening pre-compression, so anything you've done here, the compressor's just going to make it better, but don't let it work too hard. That's my quick overview on compression. Here's my EQ, And as I play,
channels for the stereo mix and 2 channels for the mix.
There's a good bit of bass. Basically, anytime the human voice is recorded on a microphone, you want to cut the bottom off. And in this case, there's a good bit of bass that I just want to get rid of. And I'm thinking maybe even higher than 90. You don't want to go much over 105 or 110 because then you start really affecting the quality of the voice itself. I've gone 150 just recently, but that's kind of a rare case. Usually I'm in the 80 to 105 range, you know, for this high pass filter. High pass meaning it's going to pass the high frequencies and cut the low.
Sequence. In the new sequence.
Okay. And you're only going to notice a difference if you're listening with decent headphones or decent monitoring system, especially if you have a subwoofer, you're really going to notice that sort of thing. Next thing you're going to want to do is listen for the boxy zone.
I'm just looking at audio tracks. You go to tracks, master.
The boxy zone here. It's hard to, you know, I've got kind of a little nasal sound there, and that's up higher than this boxy sound. So it's really hard to figure out exactly what to cut with my particular voice. But almost everybody is going to want some sort of a little cut in this 300 hertz range. So, you know, from 250 to 350, maybe even 400. Females are going to be a little higher than males in general. So frequency 250 to 400, you're going to pull down 2 dB, 3 dB, 4 dB, whatever. You can make it a little more narrow if you want to.
Stereo is fine if you're going to do a stereo.
Maybe add a little sparkle up here. A lot of times what I would like to do is maybe a general cut here and a boost here. So if I just turn these off, or instead of turning them off, I'll just set them back to 0. And I'm going to add a submix track right here. We're going to add, you do it in add tracks, and you say 0 video tracks, 0 audio tracks, and 1 submix track. And it just comes up, and it's called submix 1, but we're going to change it to sub dialogue 1. Okay. And that's where I might just do some general EQ. I'm going to go VST3 EQ. This is if you bought plugins. If you didn't buy any plugins, you're going to go right here, filter and EQ. And let's just go ahead and use one of those just for fun. EQ, and you double click it. You open this up, and you can see the different bands: low, mid 1, mid 2, mid 3, and high. I don't have any experience with this particular EQ, but you know, they all kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to do what I did in the REQ6 from Renaissance, from Waves. And I'm going to find something down here in this range, and I'm going to pull it down. So let's see, frequency 200. I'm going to make that, I'm going to pull that up to 300. Gain, I'm going to pull it down a little bit. Q, we'll leave it where it is for right now. Oh, turn it on. There you go. And the Q, we'll just leave that on right there. So this 5,000, I'll turn it down. I'll turn this on. Give it a little gain. Basically, you just turn it and you watch the graphic representation. We want this one to be a little wider. Wider is more gentle.
Channel, I'm going to say 4 channels because I need 2 channels.
Not bad. Doesn't sound as good as the one that I would have used, but you know what? That's nice for my general. If you've got a couple of $100 to spend, go ahead and buy the Renaissance bundle from Waves. It's going to really help you out, especially when it comes time for compression. You're not going to get the same quality compressors built in that you're going to get from that. So just a real quick recap. Use your meters. I didn't show you the loudness radar, but just go find that. Put it on your master. I'll do a whole tutorial on metering, I promise, but just use your meters, try to get it there, but use your ears particularly. Get your basic level using the clip keyframes right in the sequence. You can do that while you're editing as part of your workflow. Once you've got your basic levels, start putting in some plugins, gentle compression, gentle EQ. Remember, you don't want to cause any more than 3 dB of gain reduction with a single compressor. Unless you're really doing it intentionally. Put some compressors and EQs on individual tracks. You put them on submixes. You put them on your master. The master is where you do your metering. That's it. That's your quick overview of mixing. I'd love to do a whole tutorial on just compression, one on EQ, one on submix processing, master, bus compression and EQ, and limiting. You want a limiter there. As well. But this was the quick intro, 9 minutes worth of the quick mixing minute with Michael Cardillo. Enjoy. Hit me up on Twitter, Michael Audio. And until next time, keep mixing.